Everybody, what up, though? OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny, at Retired from the Streets TV. I'm in a good mood today. I've been drinking my lemon water. So, this is what I've been doing, right? Look. Ooh. I've been taking like a whole lime and lemon and dropping it in the tea, right? With the cayenne pepper, the lemon and honey and whatnot. Man, it just helped me. It made me feel better, especially a day after like you've been taking a couple of shots the night before, something like that. Grab you a few of them drops of each, a teaspoon of each one I just said, with some lemon, some lime in the water. Let it boil for a minute. Make you some tea. I want to really, this episode is dedicated to an apology, right? To anybody whose story that I'm doing or I've done that might touch you on a personal level. Let me cut my phone off. Excuse me, no disrespect. But I don't want this boy banging. And I'm doing this off the top of my head because I didn't have this plan, but I thought about it. I had a story I did recently where it was close to home for me and a whole bunch of other individuals. And I hadn't really put a bunch of forethought into reaching out to the people who were personally affected by this story, because it was a story that I meant to tell, that I was telling, that was meant to kind of detour young dudes who are on that path in the streets, running wild or whatever, to kind of lead them away from that. And I gave a lot of details as to what happened surrounding the death of this individual who was real close to me and a bunch of other people. And, with those details, they get a little graphic. And I can understand now in retrospect how, after so many years that this had passed, how it could open old wounds. I hadn't thought about that at the time. And moving forward, that's definitely going to be something at the forefront of my thoughts when I'm putting together these stories and I'm sharing them with you. I do want to reach out to the families of a lot of these individuals, because I've seen and I've been through a lot and I've touched a lot of lives, or I met a lot of people throughout the course of my life who have died, violently in the streets. Some of them died in prison. Some of them doing life in prison. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these dudes left the streets and left that lifestyle, period, and are successful in other areas, and those stories will be told as well. So I don't want y'all to think that this channel is all about just telling street stories and prison stories and just trying to glorify or glamorize or sensationalize the violence that come with it, because it's bigger than that. Like I've always said since the beginning, retired from the streets is really that. It's really me being a dude who ran rampant in the streets, and I retired from that mentality. I retired from the stress that robs the energy and emotion from the soul, the streets. I retired from that because, don't get me wrong. If a dude step wrong, somebody violate, you might have to catch these hands or worse, in defense of myself and those around me. So I ain't perfect. I ain't no angel. I'm not patting myself on the back like, hey, you finally did it. You perfect. I ain't that. It's not that. It's what it is I've polished myself in a lot of areas. I cleaned myself up. I removed a lot of childish and BS ways out of my mentality and the way I think, because the thought is the cause of it all. So I stopped even thinking about a lot of stuff that wasn't fruitful or didn't bear no fruit or didn't give no life or no light to my situation or nobody else's situation. I just stopped those thoughts completely, because when you entertain those thoughts, thoughts become things, right? Those thoughts will pull up an emotion. That emotion will become a action, and that action could lead you down a path that you don't want to go. Death or destruction, prison or the grave. You understand? So a lot of these stories that I'm telling, most of them, when they come from a personal experience from the street or prison, got a moral to the story. And it's meant to say, hey, it looks good. It might be funny when I'm telling it. It might be entertaining when I'm telling it, but trust and believe there was pain and consequences and repercussions behind all of these stories. But like I said, moving forward, I don't want to offend anybody, and I definitely don't want to open up any old wounds. You got to think, eventually, when I get up the energy, the time to put it together the right way and to get the family involved the right way, I'm going to tell my father's story about his murder. and how it was glamorized and sensationalized and blasted all over the TV screens all across the nation. So it ain't. I'm not doing this to intentionally hurt anybody or to seek to glamorize nobody's story for exploitation purposes or nothing. I'm doing this from a personal experience too. It touched close to home, my own family a lot of times. And then even considering this story I'm talking about that I made private now just for people who want to see it and who personally attached to the story. This was somebody I considered family. Like this was my big bro for real. I had never had a big bro, but I most definitely respect the family and got enough love for that family to say I apologize and and moving forward, any type of dialogue we need to have back and forth, y'all can always hit me up. I'm accessible, and I've been talking to the family, and I apologize, and they understand where I was coming from with it. They understand, like damn, it wasn't meant intentional to hurt. It was just like, hey, I'm trying to show these young dudes what we went through. You feel me? Like on Menace to Society, you'll tell them young brothers that the shit we did was fucked up. The way we grew up was fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? And looking back, yeah, we can always say, hey, man, we was getting money. We got to it. We did shit nobody ever did. We rode whips nobody ever rode. We had furs and leathers and shoes that niggas couldn't pronounce when, people's rent was, look, we were spending people rent money on a daily basis as young dudes. And grown people with families couldn't come up with that money. So it was a gift and a curse. You understand what I'm saying? Because it glorized and glamorized and had us with a sense of entitlement. When we walked in places, we was like, what? Let's smash, y'all. We'll do what we want to do. You know how that affect the young mind? It'll make you think you invincible, especially when you got a strap or you can go get 100 of them and it's money behind it and you got an army behind you. Come on now. That'll corrupt the young mind. It corrupted me in a lot of ways. And I'm trying to detour you, young brothers. A lot of y'all seen me in the streets. Y'all remember, y'all know. Feel me? Get in the comment section if y'all remember. And y'all thought some of that shit was slick that I was doing back in the streets. And I'm going to tell y'all, it might have looked slick, but I had repercussions. And karma came and bit that ass with me on a few occasions. And I hear these people down there with these dog gates being a little reckless right now while I'm recording. Anywho, another episode. I appreciate y'all for tuning in again. OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny at Retired from the Streets TV. Until next time, love y'all. Peace and love.